In my last video, I talked about the difference between working harder and creating leverage and how both are important in entrepreneurship, and how, as entrepreneurs, we can't control our luck or our timing, which also play a role in our success, but we can control how hard we work and how we design our businesses to scale. Today, I want to talk about one of the most important ways to create leverage, which is choosing the right business model. If your goal is more freedom, more control over your time, greater income potential, you have to build a business that's not entirely dependent on trading your time for money. That doesn't mean that you're never going to work directly with clients. It means being intentional about how your business generates revenue and where your time creates the most value. When I became a personal trainer and I started my wellness business, I didn't want to spend 40 hours a week coaching in a gym. That was never, ever my plan. Not because I don't like coaching, but my income was always going to be limited by the number of hours I could work if I opted for that lifestyle. Instead, I had this vision of building a wellness business that was going to reach thousands of women across the country, maybe even around the world. And I wanted to work asynchronously where I could spend less time in meetings and have more control over my schedule. So that's why I opted for this virtual first business model. I started with a membership program. It gave my clients access to my online workout videos. They could do those videos from anywhere. So while they were traveling on business trips or from their home with minimal equipment. And so that worked for me. It allowed me to support my clients around the clock without actually having to show up to meetings or be physically present. And because my target market is busy professional women, they appreciated not having to be at a specific place, not having to drive to the gym, and being able to work out while they were on business trips and on vacations. So it worked for both of us. Then over time, I continued to evolve that membership. I just started adding more things to it that would make it more valuable for my clients. And then one of the benefits of this membership or subscription model is that you get predictable revenue from that. And this is something that most business coaches today recommend having in your business. So some continuity model that allows you to get money coming in regularly so you don't have to worry about where that next paycheck is coming from. Even if it's not enough to sustain you every month, it's at least something that you can bank on. And of course, if you look at Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime, or if you just take a look at your credit card statement, you can see that some of the most powerful companies are relying on this revenue model of subscription and continuity. I also recognize that as our lives are becoming increasingly digital, people are craving that human connection, especially post-pandemic and now in the age of AI. People really want true, authentic connection with other people. So that's why I've added some in-person components to my business. I've run a couple of overnight retreats, which are really powerful in creating client transformations and helping clients build that sense of community, not just with me, but with each other, and learn from each other and realize that they're not the only ones going through their health and wellness challenges. So it's been really powerful for that. And it's been a nice complement to my virtual business model. Another revenue model that I explored early on was courses, which is what I'm doing with the well-run business. But my first course was called Transform. It's a wellness course for women who are busy, who just basically want to overhaul and take control of their wellness. It sold really well at first when I launched it. When I tried to go evergreen with it, I realized it was not going to be as easy as I thought it would. The nature of a launch where you build up a lot of momentum and there's a deadline associated with it that creates some urgency. That is how my course sold. It was not effective at selling around the clock. So just letting you, in case you're thinking about exploring courses, this is something that needs to be factored in. That sense of urgency is a driver to buy. But also in this age of AI, information products like courses, you can't just hand people a course or a PDF or a guide or a checklist and expect them to be fulfilled by that. Like, they can just enter their prompts into AI and get an output that is just as good as what you're giving them. So if you're offering some information product, What people are looking for now is support with the implementation of that knowledge and support with the execution. So there has to be some coaching or advisory, human-centered aspect that supports them in using the information that you're providing, which again is what I'm doing with the well-run business. You get the information, but you also get the support for implementing what we're talking about. Another reason, another lesson that I've learned is that if you are offering a group coaching program or some group model, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. So you're able to help more people if you're doing things for groups versus if you're doing a service for a person, an individual. This is why I have never leaned heavily into one-on-one personal training. I've leaned more into, I also have like a group fitness certification. So I do live classes for courses. I have like group cohorts where I can help a group of people at once in learning what I'm teaching. That helps free up my time. So my schedule is not packed with client meetings, but also in a group format, people learn from each other. So for example, if there's a course that we're having and we're having like a group meeting, the questions that people have, sometimes other people have those questions too, and they just don't want to speak up and ask. And everybody's learning from the questions that are being asked. Everybody's learning from the experiences that the course members have. So there's benefits on both sides for offering advisory, consulting, group coaching service as opposed to just doing everything one-on-one. Another lesson that I wish I had focused on sooner, it's common sense, but selling to consumers, especially average consumers, selling to your average American, those items are typically not going to be high ticket items, which means you have to reach much larger audiences and sell to a bigger volume of customers to make a decent income selling consumer services or products. So that is why I have shifted a little bit to B2B offerings. So I'm still doing all of my wellness services for consumers, for women through Mostly Well, but instead of using like aggressive sales tactics to try to get the volume of sales that I need to hit my own income goals, I'm balancing that. I'm letting that grow organically through automated marketing and through the systems that I'm going to be teaching you in the well-run business. I'm letting that continue to grow, but I'm also focusing on higher ticket items. One of those high ticket items being the well-run business. And I'm also looking at planning more high ticket retreats for my Mostly Well clients. That also fits my personality because as an introvert, I would rather have meaningful conversations and high impact experiences with a handful of clients than try to reach thousands of customers and have to put myself out there more than I'm already doing on social media. So it makes a lot more sense for me, my personality, and my skill set. And the biggest source of leverage in my business is, of course, the systems that I'm building and AI. So my background is in user experience design and my master's degree is in information architecture. So I spent much of my career building systems that made tasks easier to accomplish for people. And I started building systems in my business to essentially lift the minutia off of my plate and allow me to spend more time on the business activities that fulfill me, the things that I actually enjoy versus those administrative tasks. When AI evolved and I learned how to build skills, I built AI skills into those systems to free up even more of my time so that I could have more of a personal life and so that I could do more things that I enjoy with my business, open up more lines of business, create more sales. So what AI can do is really exciting in terms of operationalizing your business, allowing you to lean into what you enjoy and what makes you successful. And that's what the well-run business is all about. It's about showing you the systems that I've built, the ways you can use those systems and adapt them for your own business so that you can save time and so that you can essentially do what you're best at. So as you think about building your business, I want you to think about where you can create leverage. Can you add a virtual component to your business? If you're selling a physical product or you're selling something that requires your clients to show up in person, are there aspects of your business that you could create that are virtual. So, could you add something on that has a virtual aspect that brings in additional revenue without requiring you to be at a certain place at a certain time? Is there some sort of membership option that you can create for that continuity model so that you can have money coming into your account frequently and you don't have to worry about where your next paycheck is coming from? Could you add some sort of consulting or coaching or fractional layer onto your business if it is an information based business? Can you introduce a B2B offer? Could you create a high ticket item? Can you shift from one on one services to group programs? And then can you use systems and AI to lift work off of your plate, to streamline your business, to save time? So these are the strategies that I have used to create more freedom and more leverage and save time in my business. If you're interested in learning how I built systems that save me around 20 hours a week, then check out the Well-Run Business by using the link below. If you're already signed up for the Well-Run Business, then check out the next video and let's get going.